Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing the current push of Bron Breaker. And at first, I didn't know how to feel about it. The boys were like, hey, this might work. This might get him over. But that brother went ballistic after the match happened. So, Kenny, can I please get your thoughts on this Bron Breaker situation? Are you feeling it? Are you not? Let me know, sir.
So it seems like I thought he was going to be like the big guy whenever he came to the main roster, and it seems like they were kind of not cool on him, but it seems like they just didn't know what to do with him because the last few weeks we saw him backstage. I think he was like just talking to the general managers and stuff, but it seems like he didn't have any direction. And when he came out tonight, Brian, you got excited. You was like, "Let Bron Breaker, let's go, finally!" And I'm like, "This guy's been on the roster for months and he hasn't done anything yet." But looks like tonight is the night they decided to pull the trigger because he was in there with, what was the guy's name? Jacob Jacobson? That's what we'll call him today, Jacob Jacobson. And he beat the brakes off of this man. He had the kisses on his
It was
pants.
Kel Dixon.
Kel Dixon?
Yeah, Kel Dixon.
Shout out to Kel Dixon. But Bron Breaker hit him with a nasty spear. But I was kind of worried at first because we saw him go into the corner and he was like, they didn't put me in the King of the Ring. They didn't put me in the King of the Ring. I'm like, bro, you just came out of here and did your whole entrance. Now you're in the corner mad because they didn't put you in the King of the Ring. But he turned around and he hit him with a snap spear and he did not stop after that. So it looks like they're going to kind of put him on that maybe Ryback trajectory, but they're kind of like hot-shotting it. Instead of having him beat up jobbers every week, they pretty much got him to that top point Ryback was by the end in one night. So I think it's a good start, but they got to follow up. We saw him later on in the night, but we'll get to that in a few. Kiddo, what did you think about this introduction to Bron Breaker, or this reintroduction of Bron Breaker, should we say?
Yeah, it was definitely a reintroduction, man. Like you said, Kenny, it was almost like a Jade Cargill situation. Okay, Bron is here. Now what are you going to do? And then he shows up, beats a jobber, disappears for a couple of weeks, shows up, does the same thing, disappears. Finally, especially when we saw what he did to Ricochet, we can pretty confidently say that he's going to be back next week with an actual storyline. And it's some sort of a mix of Goldberg and I guess Stone Cold because he's against the authority. So we'll see what happens there. But he felt more like Goldberg than ever. I mean, he does have like the basic Goldberg tattoo, but he's spearing anything that moved that night. Speared this poor guy 3 times in a row, I think. Those were awesome spears, by the way, and they were super dangerous too. Yeah, man. I'm sad, man. Yeah, shouts out to him.
Spears, though.
No, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the one where he ran around the outside of the ring and he speared him. He was going like 100 miles per hour, and then he was running the ropes and speared him again. I'm like, bro, this guy's cracked out right now, man. What's going on with Bron Breaker? But with that being said, man, I'm super happy that this guy's on TV. I personally think that he is one of the future stars of the WWE. If built right, they can't fumble this. They're getting at a point right now, or more, WWE is getting at a point where a lot of their big superstars are aging, and right now you're worried about who's next. Who can you build next? And this guy is one of the guys that you can definitely build next, but you got to do it right. You can't fumble this.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. He's on Raw. Is he gonna win the World Heavyweight Championship? Like, how are you gonna keep him busy right now? You got CM Punk and Drew McIntyre going on. Won't they go for the World Heavyweight Championship? So how's he figuring there?
But I think I missed something. What happened with Ricochet? So he comes back there. He's like, homeboy, listen to me. You ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. And Bron Breaker just comes and spears him. Boom. Oh, that's a big dude. But Brian, do you know what the point was? Or did these two have like a feud in the past? Like, where did this all come from?
There's no feud in the past. I just think that right now they're giving Bron Breaker the big monster, like psycho character, where he's kind of just out his mind right now. And I think that it was the complete right move. This is Ricochet is a guy who, unfortunately, he's one of WWE's biggest pin eaters. So this is a guy that you have Bron Breaker, beat, and Ricochet is somebody who can compete with the best in that ring.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's unfortunate that right now that that's the way he's being treated. But he's one of the best in that ring, and he's some guy that can help Bron Breaker really showcase what he can do in the ring. So I think he's perfect for the first storyline because he is going to take that L. I don't mind it at all. I just think that they're showing Bron Breaker's like he's upset side because he didn't make the King of the Ring, which is fine. So I think it's all in all something that can be good. And Ricochet has proved that he can cut a decent promo. So it's just really up to them to see what they can get out of this.
Yeah, he's getting better. And like if you see his backstage, like WWE backstage or YouTube exclusive like promos, he's definitely way better now than he was in the past. So hopefully he keeps improving because, hey, well, not he's great in the ring. If he can find the character, Ricochet can go to the top. But shout out to that young man. I think he should watch someone's career, like his entire tape library, and that person's name is Dolph Ziggler because he's heading to that territory. Well, I mean, if he continues like that, I don't know. That'll be tough for Ricochet. But what were you gonna say?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. You pretty much said exactly what I was going to say before. His promos were terrible, but when he was out there cutting it tonight, I'm like, all right, I saw him getting better as time went along, but now I think he's at the point where he can actually hold himself with the promo. So this may be exactly what Bron Breakker needs because, like Brian said, Ricochet is great in the ring. He's definitely not going to disappoint there. He's a great seller. So with him being a high flyer, I think you can get a pretty big moment between these two if you have Ricochet coming off the top rope somehow and Bron Breakker catching him with a beautiful spear. It's like the Randy Orton Evan Bourne moment. I don't think anybody who was in there in that moment will ever forget it. And you can create that moment with Bron Breakker as well. If you want him to be your next guy, your next Roman Reigns, your next John Cena, right now is a vital time because we saw what happened with Roman Reigns. It took him a while to get there. John Cena started off cold, completely switched his character, got hot, completely switched his character again, and people hated him. So if you're going to go with this cycle man, Bron Breakker, you got to be ready for what comes with that because if he turns out needing a new character down the line because you want to make him like the guy you can send to these talk shows and stuff, you're going to have to do a complete switch. So if people catch on to him like this, it's going to be dangerous. So I don't know. We'll see if they can maintain it.
Because like how are you going to keep his momentum again? Like there's just no mobility right now. But right now, as of this week, this is definitely the second most interesting thing on Raw for me because you got CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, and that was it. That was all because I'm not too interested in what Sami Zayn is, especially not in Chad Gable. Like we saw him for 5 hours this Raw, you know what I mean? But this Bron Breakker thing is interesting because we also have, you guys forget right now a little bit, but that Russian guy, man, we have Ilya Dragunov. He was getting really angry. Maybe next week or after Ricochet, that's gonna be his feud. And hey, that's two great feuds for Bron Breakker right there. Sad for Ilya Dragunov. He's probably gonna lose again. But I like your idea with the mid-air spear to Ricochet. I hope like Ricochet does a middle rope moonsault, and as he's in reverse, Bron can like kind of shoulder slam him, but make it look like a spear. I think that would be sick.
Yeah. Yeesh.
Yeesh, indeed, man.
All right, guys, so we pretty much have all of our thoughts. You guys have heard us out. Now, what do you think? Let us know down below in the comments. Do you guys want to see Bron get pushed this way? Are you enjoying what happened tonight? What you guys want to see next? Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure to kiss that ring, fellas. We gonna catch y'all. Peace.